Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mark from Right Line Trading. Traders are really starting to file in right now. I'm just going to give it another 60 seconds, and then we're going to begin. All right, good afternoon, everyone. I really appreciate your time. And what I'm going to be going over today is our NDT trade execution platform. It's a little bit of a different kind of webinar because I'm not going to be describing indicators or a trade methodology. It's really designed to help you configure your trade, execute your trade, when you're trading. So it's a little bit different. I'm going to show you exactly how it works. Now, I just want to, this is an old disclaimer. It's really too wordy. The key is that, any signals that we provide for demonstration and educational purposes, everyone should understand that trading involves substantial risk and that a person can lose a substantial amount of money. Always carefully consider your financial position prior to trading, and never risk more than you can afford to lose. So I'm going to take this down for now, move it over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over a chart that I am going to control. So let's bring it down. Now we're trading 30-second bars. We can trade anything we like. We can trade time, tick, range, Renko, Unirenko. It doesn't make any difference. But what we're going to use to trade is not the standard trading dome, which really, I think, is an impediment to trading. Now I have my dome right here. And obviously, if the market's open, it's going to be jumping all around. And you may have to freeze it in order to set your buy stop or sell stop order. If you just go in, whoops, moving down a little too fast. At least let me set it equal here. If you just take a market order and we hit the buy or sell, you're probably not going to get an optimal fill. So what I'm going to show you is a great way to optimize your entries and then also to trail the trade after you're in it. Now, I'm going to start with some of the basics of the system. Now, this completely negates the need for this. I never trade off the Superdome. I haven't done it in years. And it has been a tremendous advantage not to have to. Now, every single automated trade management strategy that you want can be programmed into the NDT. You set it up on the dome. Yeah, once it's gotten a name, you can dial it into your NDT. So it doesn't matter what you want to trade, 3 contracts. You can see here we have a whole bunch of ATMs for different instruments on different numbers of contracts. So you can trade whatever you like. Now, obviously, for every instrument that you trade, you're probably going to want to bring up an individual dome. Or you can use one dome and dial in the instrument you want to trade. But what I do in the trading room is if I'm going to trade 3 or 4 instruments, I'm going to bring up 3 or 4 domes and let them sit right in front of the chart. Now, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to set always on top. So that no matter how you click your chart, the NDT is always going to sit in front of the chart. And obviously, that's a major advantage. Now, you can just take a buy order.
Order filled.
And you see the automated trade management strategies that's programmed into the NDT. You can program anything you want, automatically sets up. Use your stop. Here's your first target. We're going to close that.
Order filled.
Now you can also just hit a sell.
Order filled.
And you just got a market order on a sell. Now there's your stop. And there's your first target. Now we have Chart Trader open, but this is all simulated trading. So whatever profit or loss we accrue is obviously totally irrelevant. So here's the big thing. Let's say that you're trading time or you're trading tick, you do not know when the candle is going to close. Now, I strongly recommend, and I mean, it's really up to you. I mean, this is not about trade methodology. This is really about getting into a trade at an optimal price, that you do not trade and you get into the market intra candle. I mean, the market is expressing itself in each candle, and you can see that each one has a wick and it has a candle body. And so it's sort of telling us a little bit about what's going on in the market. Now, obviously here in the simulated feed, it's a little less, it's not particularly relevant, but when you're looking at a live market, it has a lot more relevance. And you start to see a lot of bottoming tails. Maybe you think you're at a bottom. I personally don't recommend that you trade tops and bottoms, but I believe that the wicks and the candle bodies have some value. Engulfing candles have some value. So you're going to want to trade at candle close. Now, here's the tick counter or the time counter moving down. Now, let's say that you know that if the market moves down, you want to take a short trade. Now, we're going to set it to the downside. Now, we're not going to take it on this candle. Let this one close. And we're going to sell a down close. Now, with this, we do not have to worry about where the candle is going to close. The NDT is going to trigger the trade optimally 1 tick below the close of the candle. So we can watch the time counter. It's down to 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. Now, you will notice it actually gave you a tick of positive slippage. It should have taken the trade 1 tick below the close. It took the trade at the close, and you're in the trade to the downside. Now, if you were doing this by hand, I just don't think that you could get such an optimal entry, given the fact, again, that you just don't know where the candle's going to close. Here, you just don't have to worry. You can sit back. You're going to get your entry optimally at the close of the candle to the downside. And it's really going to give you really, really optimal entries. Now, it's my personal feeling that if you hit it down close quickly, like let's say you want to trade short, and obviously this is our modified 15. This is a 15 exponential with 15 exponential smoothing. If you know that and you hit your sell on a down close, you're going to be in the queue for a short trade. And I think you're going to get into the trade with less slippage. Now, obviously, it's nothing. I've never scientifically validated it by trading the NDT on one side and the dome on the other. I just believe the quicker you get in the queue, the more likely you are to get into the trade. So we're going to close this trade.
Order filled.
And now we're going to go to the upside. Let's get this thing stoking back up. And it's nice because the it's moving quite fast on the 30-second candles. Now we don't want to take a long trade here. Next candle we do. Almost there. Now we're going to buy it up close. Now, if the candle does not close to the upside and it closes to the downside, the trade will be automatically canceled. You do not have to run over to your dome and cancel the order. The NDT will cancel if you buy an up close and you get a down close on the candle. Now we're going to about to get an execution.
Order filled.
Now the execution occurred here, 2 ticks above. So we got to take a slippage on the trade. We want 1 tick above. You know, that was the optimal that the NDT could do, but it executed real quickly, and this candle's moving fast. There's your first target. We'll let it take it out. And I want to show you what happens to the stop. This is all pre-configured into the dome, and these are things that we can do for you if you want.
Target
now the stop just moved to break even. So from here on in, you're in the trade at absolutely no risk. So you've got this, but the stop is not going to trail the trade by, say, a fixed trailer. Now you can move it on a discretionary basis. Like you're at hold of it, move it to here. You can move it up if you want to here, but I don't recommend that you do that either. I'm just going to move the stop right back down where it is, because we're going to let the system control the stop. And I'll show you that in a second. I'm just going to close this. I'm just going to close this right here. Now, let's get it going back down to the downside. And I'm going to show you one way that you can trail this trade. It's got so many configurations, I just don't want to forget to at least show you all of them briefly. Some of them you may use very rarely, but at least I want you to be aware of the full capability of the platform. Now, we used to have, way back when, I can find the my dome here. It's right here. We used to have this this volume ladder underneath like this, but we were notified that that we had a copyright infringement problem. We didn't want to take it to court. The company that sent us the notifications much bigger than us, so we chopped the volume ladder off. And the volume ladder really provides us with very, very little additional information anyway. I mean, we're going to watch our chart trader, and we're going to watch price, and most of this is all automated anyway. Now I'm going to let this come down a bit. You know what? We'll take a short trade. So now we're going to sell a down close. Now we're right here, just hit. And again, here we got a tick of positive slippage. I mean, you know, one way or the other, I mean, every now and then you're going to get a tick of slippage, but your entries are really quite precise. So let's let it run a little bit to the downside. Now, you also are going to have right here, good until canceled. So let's click it and then save. So the good until canceled is locked in. So now you're in. Now, one way of trailing the trade is that you're going to close on an up close. Now that order is good till canceled. You have it right here. As long as the candles continue to close to the, now you've got your own trailer that you've decided you want to use. As long as the candles continue to close to the downside, or they even break even, you're going to stay in the trade. So it's actually running off an ATM that you've decided that you want to use. And we're going to let the candles fall a little bit. And then we're going to change direction. Now, changing on a reversal candle, really, there's a lot of rationale to it. So now we're going to move price heading up. Let's let this candle close to the downside. And now we're going to move price to the upside. Now this candle should close to the upside, and you're going to see as soon as it closes, the trade is going to end. Now this is configured in points. It's up 10 3/4 points, which is, you know, irrelevant. You know, this is all simulated, but see, that's it. Trade just ended on the first green up close. So that is one way to trail the trade. Now, I'm going to show you a better way to trail the trade later. I'm going to show you, first, I want to show you a better way to enter the trade. Now, let's say that you're in a market, and this is really especially good on Forex and on very, very volatile markets. And it's really good on the E-mini. If your market that you're trading tends to drop wicks, this is going to work out for you extremely well, and you're going to get a tremendous premium on the trade. So let's say you're going to program into this a -1. Now let me show you what that means. What that means is here's a candle. And here's a candle. Now, normally you want to buy, if you want to buy an up close, you're going to buy it one tick above the close. Now, I just want to make this line thicker, which I can do here just by making this a 5. And by making it red. Magenta is fine. So that's going to be your normal entry. One tick above on a long. But you believe that the market is wobbly enough or just inherently and intrinsically has enough wobble so that when you get the candle close and price moves to that one tick above or 1 cent or 1 pip, it doesn't matter what financial instrument you're trading, it's totally irrelevant. I just have it on time. I could have put it on, Renko. I could have put it on tick. Remember when, you're trading a 377 tick, you don't know exactly where the candle's going to close as that tick counter goes down. Now, range, you have an idea. Actually, you should have an exact idea of where the candle's going to close. The same thing I believe with Renko. But for time and tick, you're going to have no idea. Now, in this particular, when you put that -1 in, now what you're saying is the trade is going to trigger here, but it's going to execute here. So the trade has to come back. Let me move this to break even, so it doesn't knock us off the chart. The trade has to come back a tick, a pip, or a cent, and take us out and actually execute the trade on a 1 increment pullback. And I'll talk in terms of ticks. I just want you to be aware of the fact that it could be a pip, it could be a cent, depending upon what instrument you're trading. Now, that's a tremendous advantage, especially if you're trading Forex or you're trading futures. And let me show you why. Let me just go right back to the arrow. And I'll just go back to this line. Now, let's say, as an example, you set a stop that's 10 ticks. Obviously, this is just all example. Now, by getting the entry on a 1 tick pullback, your maximum loss now drops to 9 ticks. You have built yourself a 10% premium on the maximum loss that you can take on the trade, because that 10 ticks is configured from your normal entry 1 tick above. If you get it on a pullback, the distance from the pullback to the stop is 9. So you're making the assessment the trade is going to move in your direction, but if it should not, the most you can lose is 9. And just the opposite works for you on the first target. Let's say your first target is 10 ticks. Now, when you hit 10, you're going to get 11. So you got 10% more profit on the trade per contract traded. Now, you can set this on a 2 pullback or a 3 pullback. Obviously, the higher you set it, the bigger the risk that you won't get into the trade. But on a 1 tick, say on a 24 Renko chart, your likelihood of getting into the trade on a premium is exceedingly high. So if we take out all the drawing tools, all the drawings, and we're going to set it. Now, we can't set a strong trend here. If we do, it's going to rocket past our entry. And you always have to be aware of that, also in these momentum-based markets. sometimes the NASDAQ will rocket past you. Obviously, to get a premium, it's associated with additional risk. And the risk is that you're not going to get filled. But on some of these slower moving markets that drop these wicks, your chances of getting in are exceedingly high. So right here, we're going to buy an up close. Now, we don't have much of an uptrend here. And we've got to get the candle to close to the upside. So we're going to push this to the up. We're going to push this up, but not strong up, to make sure that we do get an up close. That's moving up very slow. 13 seconds. Now here's
Order submitted.
Here's where we want to get this back. You see, it's very hard to reproduce on a sim feed, but you see where you got in. You got in with a lot of slippage in your favor here, but you still have to come back in order to get the trade. Now this is going to scoot right past us because of the way the trade evolved, unfortunately. But we're going to bring price back.
Order filled.
Now you filled, and now your anticipation is that you're going to get a move to the upside. If you do whatever your first target is, you've got an additional tick. Whatever your stop is, it's minus a tick, and you've got yourself a premium on the trade. If it's 10 and 10, 10 ticks and 10 ticks, you have a 10% premium on the trade, which is extremely advantageous. I use this very, very successfully in Forex to try to reduce that pip spread. I mean, if I have a 2 pip spread and the market is moving so that it's just dropping a wick on almost every candle, and it's not moving like a rocket, your chance of getting that 1 tick or the 1 pip pullback is high. You're going to erase 50% of your spread. So you can do that with a long trade or a short trade. And obviously you have to have the market agree with you. And you got to call the direction right. But if you don't, you're going to lose less money on the trade. Now, I already showed you one way to take the trade out. On this long trade that's going up, we're going to close on a down close. Now, we already know that it's good until canceled. And as long as the candles go to the upside, we are in good shape. We'll let one more close to the upside. At 10 seconds. There we go. So now we're going to bring this straight down. And we know we're going to get a down close, and we know this is going to take us out of the trade. I just want you to see the NDT execute it and close the trade and take everything off.
Order filled.
That's it. Trade is closed. Now I want to show you something that we have sent. Now we've sent the whole system to the patent office, and it's really taken us a long time to get an answer. But what we did was, one of the reasons why is we just augmented the system with what I think is the most advantageous trailer that you're ever gonna see. Now, I want to show you one trade that is real on my desktop, and I want to show you how this trailer works. It is very, very advantageous to use this trailer. And honestly, in balance, this is the one that is going to give you the most money on a trade Now, obviously not every trade, but if you average it out over like 10 trades, I'm telling you, I think your equity curve is going to be without a doubt the best. Now, let me show you the trade configuration. And I hope this is the right video. Oh, it can't play, but let me open it up with a different player. The VLC player, for some reason, is the best one to open. Now, here's the trade. Now, this is an automated trade. This was not taken by anyone. Now, this thing just goes flying down. Now, this line acts as the stop. This is a momentum-based line. As long as it's red, the trade is going to continue down in your favor. Now, this is a real executed trade on the automated system. Now, it's still going down, but I'm not here to talk about the automated. You see, it took you out. This thing just, I mean, that was real-time speed. Now, let me see if I can go back and sort of show you how fast that came back. Hold on a second. Let me close it and replay it because it happened so fast. It's really hard for me to show you what happened. Let me open with the VLC. When we get to the end, I'm going to keep it very slow. Now let's go here. This thing is moving at a mile a minute. You see that blue line going across, and it's just rocketing down. Now the trade is still going on. It's dropped multiple wicks to the upside. It broke the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. This is a buy sell imbalance zone where there are a lot of buyers, went right through it. Now, as soon as this line went from red to green, this triangle, which also mimics the color of this line, just in case this line is in congestion or it's right over the 50 or right over the VWAP, that closed the trade for us. So it's the slope of this line. And this is an EMA with EMA smoothing. It's a proprietary line. It's part of what we had to supply the patent office. The whole system in the aggregate augmented what we initially were applying for a patent for. It was not this triangle that closed the trade. It was the change in color of the 15. Excuse me. The triangle is system dependent. If you liked the NDT, you're going to get this line, and this line is going to act as a 15 EMA of an EMA, we call it. And as soon as that goes to yellow or green, it's going to take you out of the trade. Now, let me show you one more. Now, that made $2,405. Now, if I go back just a little bit, you're going to see it's up 3,000, but that's unrealized profit. Remember, you don't know where the trade is going to reverse. You don't know where to take it out. You cannot call a bottom, and the trade is going to, accrue more profit. I let it go a little bit more to the right. It's so quick. It just rocketed up so fast. But at its max, it was up about 3. And it shot up so quickly, it probably closed on a lot of slippage. So you wound up making, what was it, $2,500 on the trade. So let me show you that operational one in one other trade. I just have to find it on here. Let me see if this is one of them. So I need that VLC player. And what I like about this is once you enter the trade, you never touch the trade again. Now let me see if this now this is an automated entry. And you know why I know? It's these triangles. When you see these triangles going up, I don't want to talk about our system because that's not the purpose of this session. I just want to talk about the trailer, and I want to talk about the trade. So you can see it's kind of hanging out and not doing much of anything. Over here, that's right now, it's unrealized profit. First target, locks of money in. But again, this is irrelevant here. Now I'm going to move this over a little bit. Now you see this initial stop where you're at break even doesn't move. You're still in the trade. And you're still going up. Now you see it dropped a candle. I want to stop it right. All right, it took us out when this line went red, and you know, I won't show it over again. But what happens, and what I was trying to show, unfortunately, that I wasn't able to, was that you can get 2 and 3 1, 2, and sometimes 3 candle retracements where that line stays in the appropriate color you want. It keeps you in the trade. And all those are small pullbacks in that bigger trend. So it doesn't knock you out of the trade. So you get to stay in it. And at the end of the day, I mean, over a month ago, we had a 135 point move on the E-mini that took 3 days off that 15 trailer. Now, I just don't want to keep going through these videos, you know, one by one by one, but I'm telling you, this is the best way to stay in the trade. Now, we can actually look at it here. Let's sell it down close and move this down. It'll start picking up momentum to the downside. We're at 2 seconds, 1 second. All right, now you're in the trade. Now, you got to take a slippage. It's going to happen. I wish I could tell you the NDT was perfect, but it isn't. It's going to do the best job it can in a situation where you never know where the close is until a millisecond after it happens. Now we're gonna ride the trade down a little bit. Now this color in the upper right-hand corner is always the same as this 15. Because in our full system, there's other things that may cover it, and you're just not sure what color it is. So all you got to do is look up there, and there it is. So we're going to let one more candle close to the downside. That's all. And now what we're going to do is we're going to reverse. Now, I don't know where the stop is on this one. It doesn't really matter. I'm not really going to worry about it. I think here's our entry. Now, we should never, the system is always going to take you out at break even if you hit a first target. But really, what I really want to show you is this 15. Now, the price is coming back. Now, I don't know what happens. See, the P&L is flat here, but it really doesn't matter. You're going to stay in the trade. We've got the
Order filled.
and this. Oh, you know what? I know why. I think I hit the wrong button. What did I hit here? Oh, I hit sell on a down close. I screwed the trade up. I'm sorry.
Filled.
Let's hit buy on an up close.
Order submitted.
Okay, I got it. Hold on, I'm sorry. Here's what I
Order
did.
canceled.
This should be at 0. Not at -1. There's the problem. So we're going to buy an up close. Sorry about that.
Order filled.
There we go. Now there's our stop. We're going to let it hit our stop. See, this is green. I always recommend that no matter what you trade, you break it up into 2 lots. You trade 100 shares of stock, you're gonna trade it in 50 shares and 50 shares. You buy 2 contracts. You know, I have an options alert newsletter. We take out a lot of first targets, and then we let the second one. I'm looking for 175% on our runner on a small biotech right now. Our first target's out. So we're playing with it. There we go. So the 15 is heading up. This is the worst we can do, is come back to break even. Now I want to pull up far enough so that the 15 changes color before we hit our stop. Now I can take the stop actually and put it all the way down here. So it's not good. So here, I just gave us enormous risk. So now we're going to take the trade and we're going to bring it down. Now, as soon as this green line changes to yellow or red, the trade will close. Now, in a normal market, as a trade is evolving to the upside, you're going to get a 2-candle retracement. You're going to get a single candle retracement. If you're out on a reversal candle, it may take you out too early, and oftentimes it does. So this 15 I have found to be the best trailer. Sometimes you're going to wind up giving back more money than you needed to, but on balance, by keeping you in the trade, it really you're going to garner the most profit. 2 or 3 times a week, you're going to get such a humdinger trade. I mean, you know, your socks are going to get knocked off. You're going to get a 100-point move on the NASDAQ. It's still coming down, and we still have green on the 15. Now it's an EMA with the EMA smoothing, so it's going to change quick. You know, these are obviously not big moves on a 30-second candle. And this is just to demonstrate how the system works. Now, normally, the worst you could do was get stopped out right here at break even. Only I moved the stop all the way down here on purpose. It should be turning very shortly.
Order.
There it is. It just went yellow, out. I'm telling you, without a doubt, that is the best trailer on a trade in real time. Now, let me tell you a couple reasons why it's the best trailer. If you trail the trade on a fixed amount, let's say you trail the trade, you set up, and I'll stick with futures. you're going to trail, let's say, on a 20 tick trailer. As the trade evolves to the upside or downside, market conditions change. Now, this is taking into account, this line, changing market conditions. If you trail the trade on a proprietary basis, as you start accruing profit, it's an innate tendency, and it happens to me all the time. I'm up 35 points on the NASDAQ. I just am going to start to tighten my stop because I don't want to give anything back. Then it's going to come back and take me out. It's going to go up another 25 points. The best thing to do is to use a trailer, again, that doesn't have any fear or greed. It does it without emotion, and it does it based on evolving market conditions as the trade moves. And this 15 in balance is going to work out great. It's very, very hard to show it to you on a 30-second candle on a sim feed, but in a real market, it is just a terrific setup. Now, I have videos of it working. I just don't know which one it is, and I don't want to like amble through a whole bunch of them and bore you to death, because you're going to see 1 candle and 2 candle retracements, doesn't take you out, then the trade just continues on and on and on. Now, there are multiple other configurations. There's some Unorenco traders that it doesn't matter whether the candle closes to the upside or the downside, they just want to close the trade. So buy, sell on close. They just want to buy or sell on the close of the candle. Here's close on a down close on an up close. Here's close on close. So if you're in the trade and you just want to close the trade when the candle closes, it doesn't matter whether it's the upside or the downside, you just knock it out and you close it. And then there's a couple of other configurations that we just rarely use. Here's sell on close, buy on close. We always indicate the direction. We want to buy on an up close. We want to sell on a down close. This is really primarily for Unorenco traders, and we do have some that use the platform. So it just gives it more configurability. Now, we're very shortly, and if you come aboard, you're going to get this. We're going to be adding a bracket trader to it. Now, it's going to allow you to trade the news. Now I'm not going to give you any inputs with the bracket trader because it depends on the news. It depends on what you're trading. If you're trading the CPI or you're trading the Fed, if you want to get an enormous move, let's say that if I put a line up here, here's the 50 EMA, and we're going to call that, obviously that's the midline, and that's the average close of price over the last 50 candles. And we're going to make that width 5, just to make it thicker. Now, let's say that, you want a bracket trade so that you'll execute 1 standard deviation above, and you'll also execute 1 standard deviation below mean, with the anticipation that this is going to continue to the upside if it bypasses that first standard deviation. And an OCO is 1 order cancels the other order. Now, I use OCO orders all the time with options. I just put in a trade on a small biotech. My target is 175% on my second lot, and my stop is at break even. And that's an OCO order. If it hits my stop, obviously that 175% vanishes. If I get 175%, the stop vanishes. So if this goes long, executes your long, your stop vanishes, and that protects you from having the trade come back. Whoops, sorry. Executing you again to the downside and potentially giving you 2 losers. Now, it could give you 2 winners. That is not your intention. If it moves a standard deviation, and that I just pulled that, you know, you could put 2 standard deviations. You have to do your homework on that. But we're going to have a bracket trader component to the system where if you want to bracket trade the news, you can bracket trade the news. Now, I hope I've gone through everything. I can answer any questions. Like I said, this is infinitely configurable in terms of stocks, futures, Forex, even cryptos if you trade them. You create your own ATM or automatic trade management strategy. See, we set no second targets. And I'll show you the ATM that we set, just so you have an idea. Because we take all our stops. Let me find the, here's the dome. And if I bring this up, I open this up, you're going to see that if I open this up, we have no runner. No runners configured. On our 24 uni, we're looking for 80 ticks for first target. Now we maximum risk is 145. We rarely hit that because at the worst, we're going to close on a reversal candle to the downside. That's your conservative. Or you can close on this change of the 15. 15 will change before that 145 is hit. But the 145 is an optimized number that we put in case you don't want to trade this line. You don't want to trade a reversal. And there's no second target at all. The second target and the stop is based off the 15. So, and you saw if you hit a trade right here on an up close, there's not going to be a second target. Let's get the thing to close up. The second target is going to be defined by how you want to trade it. You want to trade off the 15, there'll be no second target set. You want to trade off a reversal candle, there'll be, you'll have that good till canceled reversal candle. My recommendation is to use the 15. Now we're looking to buy an up close. Won't see anything happening here yet.
Order.
There it is. Now you actually, this is an exact entry, 1 tick above the close of the candle. And you should know that the top of a candle, the reason we do that is this is a very weak area of resistance. And the reason some traders like to close on a reversal is that this is a very weak area of support. So once the bottom of the candle is broken, some traders who really are ardent fans of market structure will consider the trade blown and they're going to take the trade out. I don't feel that way because I've seen too many trades come back off this 15. But this is all the configurability I'm offering and the NDT has to offer. I'm not, I mean, my personal recommendation is that 15 trailer, but you've got many ways to execute the trade, many ways to trail it. And this has been on a fast moving market. I'm telling you, you're going to get into these trades on I think, smaller slippage to no slippage than if you had to run to the dome on a minute chart, see where the price was, it may be 2, 3, 4 ticks, 2, 3, 4 pips. It may be 5, 6, 7 cents ahead of your optimal entry. And all these things ultimately erode your equity curve over the course of a week and the course of a month. You want to put everything in your favor. So let me answer any questions. Let me just make sure from Rory that I've touched everything. Okay, and let me answer any questions. But you know what, first let me just show you our offer. Let me just move all the way down. That's a really nice offer. Now what it is, and I'm going to drop the dome. I'll just put the dome over here in case you have any questions. Let me just flatten it.
Order film.
Now normally it's $1,500. We're going to cut it in half. It's $749 and it's yours for life. Now, if we make upgrades and add-ons, you get those for life. Now we're going to add that bracket trading. When we do, we're going to have you. We're going to do a recall. We're going to take the NDT back from you, and we're going to replace it with the NDT that has the bracket trading component to it. Now the first 10 are going to get are going to get a month in the live trading room and trade with me. Plus, you're going to get my micro cap of the month. And I have been doing pretty well on the micro caps. I follow a whole bunch of them. And I had a couple that just absolutely skyrocketed. It's just a completely different way of trading than it is all these other stocks. So you're going to get 12 micro caps. And you don't have to invest a lot of money to make a lot, because when these micro caps fire out, I had a trade on Bio. I forgot the name of it, but it was the world's leading maker of monkeypox. I just happened to get into a month before the first epidemic of monkeypox. I got in and recommended it at about 65 cents. We closed it at $2.75. It went up in one day once the news came out that monkeypox had been detected in the United States. The thing went ballistic. So these are the kind of trades that you're going to look for. You're going to trade with me in the room. And obviously, if you don't want to stay, it's a free month. But the NDT is yours for life. And we're always going to upgrade it. We're always going to help you with it. And if for any reason, you think it's not operating optimally, Sergio will tweak it for you. And you're going to need a white glove installation on that, and Sergio will configure it for you. Now, it is only operational on NDT on NinjaTrader. We just can't. We have tried to make one on Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim's coding does not allow us to break into their execution system and override it. Like, we just can't do it. We can't do it with TradeStation, and we cannot do it with MetaTrader 4 as hard as we've tried. But if you're looking for optimal entries, I'm telling you, this system is going to give it to you. So let me see if there are any questions. Hey guys, I do really appreciate your time. I know it's a long day every day. You're trading the markets. It's those people that say, trade the markets without stress. Well, they're not trading the markets, because no matter how much money you make, you still always have stress. Hey, Pretty, please, can I have this recording? I have no problem. We will send out a recording. We will send this out. Don't worry about that. Hey, Richard, I'm authorized for the NDT. How do I put it on the chart? Richard, Rory will take note of that. He'll have Sergio call you. Now, Sergio just left at 5 o'clock. He'll call you in the morning. Okay, Richard? Hey, John, attaching an order to an indicator is a standard feature of NT8, but it does not trigger on color alone like yours. Correct, John. Hey, Francis, can it stack, add, or absolutely? If you want to add more orders, you absolutely can. You can do it. And Sergio will show you exactly how to configure it. So let's say you're in with 2 futures or contracts and you want to add 2 more, you can still do it. You want to add another 100 shares of stock, you can still do it. You can stack. Hey, Christopher, is this chart you're on right now? No, it's not moving in real time, Christopher. I mean, if I moved it in real time, we'd be sitting here for a week. I'm moving it right here off of this. I mean, I want to make that clear. I'm controlling it. You know, I'm controlling the horizontal, I'm controlling the vertical. They used to say in that monster TV show. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. So I was controlling the direction the entire time, Chris. Remember, it's 5 o'clock. I mean, you know, I mean, if we were sitting here looking at the Forex, it could take us a week to get an entry. Does it allow ghost stops? Francis, I don't know what a ghost stop is. So you know what? So you're gonna have to send me an email. Hey, Rory, do you know what a ghost stop is? I've never heard of it, Francis. So I can't answer you yes or no because I just don't know what it is. Hang on, if you hang on a second, let me Google it, because I thought I heard everything, but I'm just not aware of it. Hey Rory, I've got all the stuff here. Can you Google Ghost Stop?
Sure.
Really quick, because we're going to try to find out, Francis, but I've never heard of it before, so I can't tell you yes or no. Okay. Great info, thanks. I'm glad to be on board. My pleasure, Jason. Hey, LA, there is a book on the website. Yes, it does come with a manual. So we will give you the manual. I forgot to mention it. It goes through, it's about a 60-page manual. It goes through every single configuration that I pretty much mentioned. So it's really going to help you. But it's very, very easy to master. I mean, you know, it's not particularly difficult. Hey, Bill. No, we can't use another trailer, Bill. Unfortunately, that 15 has been programmed in, and it took us an awful lot of work to get that 15. Remember, this is the only system that trails off of an indicator and not off of a fixed movement in price. I don't know, there may be others, I've never seen them before. So unfortunately, you're stuck with that 15. And that unfortunately is not modifiable. I mean, and that's already been sent to the patent office. So you're stuck with that. But you don't have to use the 15 if you don't want to. But that's about the only way you can trail it on an indicator system. Good question though. Well, hold on.
It's on MT4. You can hide your stop loss and take profit.
Okay, well, we're okay. The ghost trade is a MetaTrader 4 type feature, and this is only operational on NinjaTrader. So I mean, I do want you to know that. I mean, Rory Googled it. I see it there. It is a trade, but you know, we're never. And I want you to know, I always I will tell a lot of traders, you know, we're working on other platforms. We're looking to move it. I always want to be totally honest and upfront with you. We have tried to move this, and basically we had to break into the order system so that when you press that button, that goes to your broker and it executes on the brokerage side. And the only system that allows us to do that is NinjaTrader. These other systems will not let us break into that conduit. So we're not going to be moving to other platforms, unfortunately, because they don't allow it. Hey, Christopher, Outer Limits. Yeah. I mean, I watched that show when I was really young, man. It scared the heck out of me. A stock that is not seen. No. We actually looked it up. And but as far as I can see, Luke, it only is on NinjaTrader 4. I'm sorry, MetaTrader 4. Now, if it's a stock that's not seen on the market, I don't know if that happens on NinjaTrader. It's possible. I couldn't give you a definite yes or no on it. But according to Google, they said it's a specific MetaTrader 4 type of trade. Hey, LA, it's a mental stop, not a hard stop. Okay, thanks. Hey, Luke, it's a stop. Okay, no problem, Luke. Hey, Bill, Go Stop is a stop local and not on a trading server. I gotcha. It will not. The stop that you enter here is going to be on a server. I mean, remember, when you place that stop, that is going to your broker. And the broker sees that stop. And we don't know of a way to hide that. At least on NinjaTrader, we don't. So that's just not one. I can understand why you might want to do that, quite frankly, so the market makers don't steal it from you. But we can't, that we can't do on NinjaTrader. Hey, Richard, can you email me the manual, please? Sure. Rory? All right, you got it, Richard. It's on your way. Okay, Luke. All right, listen, thank you all. I really, really appreciate it. And I wish you all the best. I thank you for your time. What we'll be doing is we'll be sending out, a post-webinar email. It'll have the replay in it. It'll have a purchase link. My pleasure, Luke. Thank you. And if you'd like to come aboard, welcome to have you. If you'd like to see how we trade in our trading room. Now, I put in the live trading room. We have 3. Now you can come into my room where I trade futures. You can go into My Pleasure LA. You can go into David's room where he day trades options, and you can go into our other David's room where he trades currency futures. And or you can sort of mosey from room to room to room. You have your pick of 3 different trading rooms, all operation with a lot of overlapping times. David day trades options all day, 9:30 in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. David and myself, Craig and myself, we look for a profit target and then we stop. But that's neither here nor there. You'll have your opportunity for all 3 rooms. I purchased my upgrade a few days ago, looking forward to getting it set up. Hey, Christopher, we'll make sure Sergio calls you up and gets it all configured. So thank you all again. Have a really, really wonderful night. Wish you the best of luck. If I'm not mistaken, tomorrow's Friday. I lose track of the day. Let's close out the week really nicely and then just take a nice rest for the weekend. So everybody have a really, really nice evening, and I thank you all. Hey, thank you, Luke. Everyone, take care, everyone. And again, have a great evening. Bye-bye.